Okay. Yeah, we're recording now. So hani pini karigiwi na chikchi agi mishana kashana kuira agi hampe where we live or towns where we come from is what we've been going over for this session or this module. So I guess before we begin, we have one participant, Inekimani John. Do you have any questions at this time that you'd like to ask before we begin today's session?
I don't think so.
Okay, and that's fine. If you have any at the end, we'll open it back up for any kind of questions you might have. I know sometimes, you might come in with a question and, I often do that with these meetings and then I forget them, when it comes time to ask. So I just figured I'd ask beforehand. Marukara Zing made a PowerPoint, or I'm not sure if it's actually a PowerPoint, but she made, okay, hold on, I gotta, okay, so I'm in 2020. So the first one we're going to discuss is growing up where you do live. So, ni khunuregi hachinja shana rachiwisa. Ni khunuregi hachinja shana rachiwisa. Does anybody want to, any of the speakers want to volunteer to go first to answer the question, or should I just call on somebody?
Yeah, actually.
All right.
Nel gaan eja in China. Eja gedewine wow maximum. Nunenge in gede da herege. Nige shana nige eja shana achiwi shano. De job legi godeja achiwi ma kerepana janesko aonje. Egi injige wawa anja hachiwi, jige eja manja waga hacha. No negashana hiwishinu, napaki ma eja hiwishinu, mogashut hipaiju. No nege waga kajara. De job legi naga wawa anja hahi naga hakcha eja neukhawa neja hagiwi. The anchara de shishig deska wade hakochunk eskes do gija eja hakichiwi. Maija neska eja wadera onja neukhawa nene kiri. Eske horohana, neukhawa nenege hani hawi. Egum kida, mana nege jago anach wao. Ma kira jana. Egum kida.
Okay. All right. So basically, you said that you were born in Black River Falls, and for the most part, you grew up. Well, I'm here in Black River Falls, so. Then you said that you kind of moved to different places and lived in Madison area. And I think you said you went to school in Portage, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you also kind of went to Red Banks. And I thought that I got out of it that a lot of times that you kind of moved around just because you were gathering or for gathering was it charities?
Yeah, napaki eja hahi vishnu.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anybody else, or should we move on to the next one? Does any of the speakers want to talk about this one?
Good job, Shaggy.
I'm saying, do we want to move on to the next one? and have somebody else do that one? Or does anybody else want to talk about where did you live with growing up?
초역시 하나,
Okay.
니스케 녀카레자 인추이니. 여기 흔운에기 그 앞에서니 오늘게 양차라 니쇼제서 후와지 에스케 에자 히니기 위 니쇼제 오늘게 용리하에 이렇게 저기 비니 에스케 누구스 와는 에자 키디위 에자 저거전 치위 에기자 양차라 마스노고서 원래숑 이게 에자 okuida nishi paja waikhan eja chowa chego ya pedas eja chiwida get flats ide eja see ha chiwi yansara construction work on a chi khate eja wini eja wade shunu eja je ke eja hukishi bra Nilkhani eja ogiwi eja ksin ma joba nigoni are ege mission khekon eja o kanashke aire eja chiwi chiporo ke khataksin eja wa chiwi ege chokochang ni iske eja chiwi ege yanchara ya ichakoro hi Archie Elk, one of it. Monige honey, Poggin, he page. It's a cheap order to a jogger. They he answered. Unge get agree, Nihara. It's aske Poggin, he page. They just eat her chewy. They just say, Mong Sasha, honey, guni are. Egi ini hara anancho khata go wana gero oga hacha se skera ikin yoni hara ke anancho khata go echa mission jo moe oga hacha rogi guni eske hi anchara hinu hi ke shono je chia ho chi shono re anchara ke je echa chida achiwi na je Ukirakshan, eske mission jo kejo waikhanami. Eja khatewine, eja waga hacha, you get no khariaja, waga hacha. Yagare waga hachala, ego hakara isu, okay, graduate only. So go minor one. Eske manape akin, manape akinera, akireke. They shishig choco chamba chi. Eja ke high pinning as you get no khadiaja ki. Yeah, I okay reduction.
Okay. Okay, so basically, you said you were born here in a mission, and your father came from Bishoch, and I believe you said that you moved there for a little while, but didn't really like it there, so you moved to La Crosse. And I believe you said your father worked on the railroad for a little while. And then I think you might have said after that you moved to Niche for a little bit and then ended up coming back here to Black River, living for a little while at Wakanashkeja. And then lived in a Chipotle there and eventually moved to the mission and went to school here and then joined the military, I guess, basically. All right. Dega Husak.
Yeah, ini hara jagu anagre ske jahada ke wajin jange ki ya perezni.
Okay. Jigon kira hi section
Ah.
Okay. Ikunigi hacha Harajawi. How about Degahusak?
Neo Haoni Legi Hachiwa Nangshan. See Egi Hachiwi.
All right. Who's the going to be Hachinja Chida, Jay?
이거는 뭐 개판은 하셔나고니 아래 오케이 뭐 나그래 와이크라는 와버리 너니게 오늘 그런 얘기 이게 아치 하나 배치노에서 어때 쇼노 내서 좀 retire 하고 그거 얘기 아치 하자고
All right. Watch energy?
Yeah, hapte de joblege hatcha jown.
right.
Ma kere pana down in iske aske. He chawing her ege wore hikike. Wore pin jura ikishere jura ge karab neske. Wore Yes, ege he kick at ananga. Wagaja, Pochi Hadejaske ege wagi gons shulun. Eske ege waichanawira. Whatever je hokishi naga. Ege hacha jawin. Inekawi Konoing egeske Hadewa unje. Eske, Kipelske niske, egi. Egon kira,
All right.
Ejo pregi.
Okay. Okay. What's the whole name of the town you live in? And what mean?
Nilchwani is
So let's talk about Madison quick.
Nilchwani is disappearing waters. That's up by the Hodo Penny behind the mission. That's Black River Falls, north of the city of Black River Falls in the dam. Dejoprege Chidi Four Lakes, everybody knows that. And then Wawa Ainja Hakochan Kachivita Wawa, that's portage. Portage, carrying your boats, canoes from the Wolf River to the Fox or vice versa. That's what portage is there. Those are and then Shishik, of course, is Milwaukee, kind of stinky waters. Certain times of the year, like right now, probably the edge is full of algae and whatever else went into the river from that big city. That's Shishik. We've lived there too, Milwaukee. And then,
Okay. And Hushnigan?
오늘 흐르는 아시아저 계절 자고 뭐이게 앞에서니 자고 대작시 아그래야 어스게 저거 마스난 거라 알죠 와제 대작시 애저 오니야 애저 큰하게 되시고니 공공 옥잖아 위라로 찬들게라나 이게 옥잖아가 저거 페이지 와서라 알죠 와제 애저 고민하게라는 거요 이장해서나 아파히와 우나옥잖아 애작시 보다 지나가네 오늘 나가 그대와 오나게 때 오늘 얘기 가는 게를 혼을 개지는 애작시 와이래 거네 야래 오늘 혼을 가나 애가 샤저는 IP와 이제 GPS게 이게 나고 그때 이빠르게 what I'm going to go and get on a pie or showing. Yeah, I don't care what
Okay. All right. So Huni Khruninks, talking about the the train station, small station is basically what it breaks down to or translates to. So Dega Ahusak, do you have anything to add? I know that Dega, Cecil went over Black River Falls already. So is there anything that you want to add to any of that?
Yeah, Hanaj Aire Gacha, Keja, Orang Irai Chera, he had to Hurumni.
Okay.
근데 that's okay.
I believe this. Okay, so this one came up in our meeting yesterday, and this is the last one, so we'll be done after this, and then I'll open it up for questions if Nikki Money has any questions. But can you please explain what Hawaji means? Because this one is kind of something that I understand just means to come from, but a lot of times, because we don't really have any other way to say, where did you just come from? Like if somebody walks into a room, we use this verb. And is that incorrect to do so? And does anybody want to tackle this particular verb and talk about it and what it means? Hawaji.
In my guessing, Hawaji, it just means coming from somewhere. It doesn't say Hawaji. It's not asking an individual a question, just the word Hawaji, like you're saying, coming from somewhere.
Okay.
It could be a little confusing, but Hichawi had a Dagri Mahumaja Huwaji. My wife comes from Germany. Germany is Huwaji Wamunje. And then if you ask somebody Hachinja Huwaji, you could just simply be asking. You just ran into him someplace and said, where did you come from? Where are you coming from? He might say, oh, I'm just coming from the casino or something. That's Hawaji,
Okay.
all it means.
Okay. So yeah, that was just one thing that that I was kind of confused by, just because I've heard people say that you can't use it that way, but I mean we have been anyways, just because just applying it to where did you come from if you run into somebody. So that's good to know that we can actually that we can use it that way. Dega Husak, anything to add?
Hanaja do kind of.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna start the share. That was the last one. So any other participants, do you guys have any questions on any of the things that we've just went over? Also, like I always say, if you have any kind of questions that might pop into your head later, feel free to ask questions on the Ho Chunk Academy Facebook page, email us, send us a question in Messenger. Also, we're going to have a session tomorrow with participants, pretty much exclusively, practicing some of the things that we went over in this module. And I believe, Madhu Krazing, that's at 10 o'clock tomorrow?
Yeah,
Correct?
10 o'clock. Yeah.
10 o'clock? Okay,
Yeah.
so if you have any questions then, bring them. You might want to write them down in case you forget them. 10 o'clock tomorrow, we'll be practicing the things that we went over in this module, and probably be bringing some of the things back that we previously went over, because this kind of fits in nicely with our introductions of ourselves when we're introducing ourselves in Ho Chunk, so we might bring some of the other things back as well. So if there's nothing else, if nobody has any comments or questions, I guess we'll just...
Oh yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
I think we had a question yesterday too. So we were talking about when you're using Hawaji and you're saying like, I came from town or something like that. There was two different ways we heard it. We could say like, Chinankeja Hawaji, or somebody else could say Chinankeja Hawawaji. So is there...
That Hawawaji is probably the older version, but as we went along, we've deleted some of those letters like W. So instead of saying Hawawaji, and you take that W out of there as we write it, you got two A's laying there. So that makes it longer. That's Hawaji, Hawaji is one A, and then Hawaji It's a kind of longer version of the A. That's all it is. We've removed the W from Hawawaji. It's the same word.
Okay, so neither one's incorrect. Okay.
Yes, we've done that with a lot of words.
Right.
Sit here and go through all kinds of them where we deleted the letter W, a couple other letters.
Yeah, good question. I completely spaced that one out. So any other questions or comments before we end the session today?
I have one more. I mean, so if we do that, sorry, if we do that with that W, what about when you say like I bought us something, and if I'm gonna say do we, you know, do you have to use that do we, or can you just say do we? Using that extra we.
That we on the end makes it plural. Do we, I bought. Do we bought. That's all it is. The we make on the suffixes makes it plural. More than one person. Do we.
Okay.
But also if you're saying repetitively, you're out rummaging and maybe you bought this and that, that we does not make a plural, that sound. We're not doing we. I bought multiple items. That also comes into play, and that's a different we, doing we. You're out there, what-do-ha-haing and all that. That doing, we're not doing we.
What-do-ha-haing.
Yeah.
What-do-ha-haing. Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise it means we bought, doing we, versus doing I bought. Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, so basically what we just went over is Hawaji. If you say Hawaji and somebody tries to tell you it's Hawawaji, just say Wachanaji said I could say it.
Say it either way.
Yeah. So that's what I got out of it anyway.
Depends on what wigwam you walked out of.
Okay. Manuka, you got any more questions?
Nope, I'm good. Hey, go get out. When you get up late.
All right, well, I guess we'll call it a session for today, and honey check Joey. We'll see you guys next Wednesday at 11.
Yep, Wednesday 11. All right, guys, honey check Joey.
전액이나 지금 vacation 한국어는 괜히 주는 게 어디서 보러 그냥 하이 샤르스 나인.
그게
고래스 게
Honey check Jay.
예.